Welcome in to, dare I say, a very special edition of Sport Ball because one of the real sports is back. One of the two only sports that matter in this world is back, baby. And we are back.
Handball.
I am Sam, and with me, as always, are my good friends Seth and Kyle. Boys, football's here, and how ready are you?
I felt like this offseason I was doing okay with the cravings, with the yearnings, with the urges. I was like, I'm enjoying the summer. I'm all good. And then some kind of flip switched maybe a week or two ago, started having fantasy drafts, and I've just been on the edge of my seat waiting for football season to start ever since. So can't wait for tomorrow, or more likely tonight, for when this is posted for Chiefs Ravens.
You think
It's gonna
Kyle's
be
going to turn
wild.
this around in one day?
Probably.
Yeah, I'll be up pretty late if you sent
We're
it to me.
recording this.
It's up.
Should we tell them when we're recording it just in case anything crazy happens?
The day before the season begins. 'Twas a night before football season,
In a
and all
world.
through the house, not a creature was stirring.
Kyle, so you've been ready.
Actually, no. No, it really crept up on me, I feel like.
Mm.
Hadn't thought too much about football until the last 2 weeks, probably. I've been baseball, WNBA mode heavy, you know?
I haven't even finished reading that NFL magazine I always read.
Who the fuck reads a magazine?
Do you think anyone else reads a magazine in the entire United States of America besides me?
I think the only time that people read magazines is when they're at the doctor.
They don't have any magazines at my dentist. Is that weird?
Come to think of it, I don't know if they have
I don't
any at
ever
my
wait at the
dentist.
dentist though. I go there and then as soon as I get there, they're ready.
Come on
Well, it
in.
must be nice.
Kyle's
Anyway.
a VIP at his dentist.
I go. My dentist tells me that he hasn't gotten his teeth cleaned in years, so I was like, why am I
Really?
even here?
That's like
I
the
don't
worst thing your
understand.
dentist can say to you.
I don't know if that means like he just knows how to do it himself, so he does it at home,
You
or
can
if
do it
it's just
yourself?
if he's just bragging about the fact that he has such good dental health, health himself
Just
because he is a
perfect teeth
dentist.
naturally. Wow.
Who
Still
cleans
weird.
dentist teeth? Are there dentists clean dentist teeth?
I
Yeah,
assume.
I'm sure there's like your dentist's favorite dentist, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like
Why isn't that should be at least half of the dentists in America should have that as their slogan.
Yeah.
No one would ever question it, I don't think, or would they? I mean, he's got to be right.
Oh my God. It's like how Kyrie Irving is like every basketball player's favorite basketball player.
hmm
Chappell
All
Roan is your
right.
favorite artist, so
Who? Chapel Roan?
yeah.
Yeah. She's just everyone's favorite artist in general because she's the truth.
She's so fucking good.
So
We should
good.
have a Chappell Roan dedicated podcast, to be honest with you.
Yeah, the way we talk about it, we might as well just turn on the mics.
Well, the mics are on right now, so I
Well, I don't
hope.
want to hijack this podcast. This, after all, is
Did he freeze?
Yeah, he froze for me.
Okay, I didn't know if that was some sort of
Dramatic
yeah.
pause.
Yeah.
you guys froze for me too. I want you to know
Okay.
Yeah, it was your fault though. 2 against 1.
that. All right. So we start talking about football or what?
All right.
You're down? You're
Sure.
open to it? Okay.
I could be amenable.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna give our favorite over/under bet. We're gonna give our favorite prop bet. Then we're gonna get into the meat and potatoes. We're gonna go over each division. And Seth, you know what, Kyle? You know what Seth said to me the other day? He said, "I don't really know the divisions in football." I said, "So if I told you AFC East," and he's like, "Are the Chiefs in that?"
I'm with him.
What?
We talked about this on the podcast like 1 year ago, which I also told you last night, but you didn't believe me. And I didn't say I don't really know the divisions. I said I don't know the divisions at all.
This is me shocked. Look at me. This is how I look when I'm shocked.
Kyle, do you think he'll be just as shocked a year from now when we have this conversation for the third time?
Probably.
Well, I'm glad I'm going over to each division in football with basically two planks of wood that don't know anything about the divisions. So that should be interesting. And then we're gonna pick our playoff picks and we're gonna pick our Super Bowl picks and our MVPs. And they're all gonna be right. That's the thing.
All three of us, different picks, all
Correct.
still right.
So let's start with our favorite over-under. I'll go first. Thanks for asking. The LA Chargers over 8.5. Yeah, I'm in, baby. I'm drinking the Harbaugh Kool-Aid. I have them. I'm not going to spoil it, but I might have them above 10 wins. All right. I'm soaring this over. Listen, Herbert was injured all last year. Okay. He's ready for the bounce back. He had a little plantar fasciitis, but it's just a little, let's not talk about that. Do you think they have no wide receivers? Let me introduce you to Josh Palmer. Ever heard of him?
Yes.
Yeah, he's decent. And Khalil Mack and Bosa are about to have a great year under Harbaugh. And they got that Joe Alt kid. Do you see how big he is? He can basically
How
block
big
the
is he?
entire defensive line by himself. And Harbaugh's
Doubt
just a
that.
winner. He has the highest active winning percentage of any coach in the NFL. He's just going to win. Give me Chargers over, baby. You like that?
I like that. I mean, they're
Yeah,
certainly one of the teams that you could argue has improved a lot from last year. We'll have to see how Joey Bosa is coming back from injury. And then same with Herbert, obviously. And then we'll have to see what kind of an offense Jim Harbaugh implements. And I mean, Harbaugh is one of those guys who's been pretty effective, pretty successful everywhere he's gone. So will his luck run out? Will he have a little bit of a wake-up call transitioning back into the NFL after being in college for the last several years? I don't know, but I could see it.
Good. I love when you agree with me. Kyle, what's your favorite over-under bet of the NFL season?
I put down 2.
Is he becoming me?
Um, I think I think we were a year early on the Seahawks. So I gotta pound the
Join me,
Seahawks
brother.
over 7.5.
7.5 is crazy.
It's outrageous. New offensive coordinator should be much more pass heavy. And he was dialing up great plays in college. Really loves the deep ball. Geno's one of the best deep ball throwers in the NFL that no one talks about. JSN's going to be completely unlocked. There might, the defense might be a little rough out the early going. I've heard the new defensive coordinator as well has a really intricate system. Will be good at some point. Who knows how early they kind of get in the swing of things, but 7.5 is just atrocious. He's frozen.
I thought y'all were off your
It's-
rockers, that
it's
y'all had lost your marbles last year with the Seahawks, and you were proven wrong. 7.5 is pretty low. That being said, I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't make it to 7 wins or only 2 7 wins.
I have him at 10 as well.
other one. Houston over 9.5.
Easy.
I mean, we're gonna get to this in the next later on in the show, so I'll talk through it then. But Houston over 9.5.
They're soaring over that. I have them near 12. I mean, I don't want to spoil anything, but I'm thinking crazy things about them.
We are one mind.
I don't like this. I don't like that I'm agreeing so heavily with
17
Kyle.
and a half? Too low?
17, including playoffs? Seth, bring me down. Give me something I disagree with.
All right. Mostly, you'll probably disagree. Give me Baltimore Ravens wins over 11 and a half
Wow.
at
Alt?
plus 155.
Oh, this guy's going alt line on us. We'll make
Damn
a better
right.
out of you yet.
The Ravens were a historically great regular season team last year. Many people have made the comparison between Lamar Jackson as the football version of James Harden, puts up incredible stats, looks like a dynamic player, leads his team to a great regular season record, and then bungles in the playoffs. They added Derrick Henry, which you might say running backs don't matter, which oftentimes is true. But I feel like in the way the Ravens run their offense and with how mobile Lamar is, and people have been talking about this, is not a very uh creative take or unique take, but just having to stop Lamar and Derrick and not knowing if he's going to hand off or keep it himself is a ridiculous thing to ask a defense to do. So I think the Ravens are going to repeat as one of the great regular season teams this year, and then we'll see if they are able to make it over the hump in the playoffs. But regular season, I think they're going to be awesome once again.
Kyle, you like that?
Yeah, I don't mind that at all.
I think I have them right around there. I think I'm at 11 or 12 out of check, so I'm not going to be against it. I mean, they're always good in the regular season, just a well-coached, well-oiled machine, you know?
Yep.
Okay, favorite prop bet. Kyle, you're going to like this. I want you perked up right now. CJ Stroud, most passing yards in the league, 7-1. Yeah, he perked up for sure.
I do like that.
He had 4,108 last year with basically no Tank Dell for most of the season. Obviously, no Stephon Diggs, who's a new target for him. And Nico was even injured at some point in the season. And I remember, Kyle, at one point, they were only basically thrown to Noah Brown, who's since been released from the team. Plus, CJ missed 2 games with a concussion. So I feel like he gets up to high 4,000s easy. And I think he has a good shot at winning it. And I think, this offense was terrible at running the ball last year. Like, yes, they added Joe Mixon, but Joe Mixon doesn't get me out of bed in the morning. Like, I still feel like they're going to be very much have to pass to put up points against these teams. So I like it a lot at 7-1.
Who does get you out of bed in the morning? Bethany usually?
Yeah, usually she's standing over my face if I move an inch after 6 a.m.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of my favorite fantasy football sites just published this new stat called average separation score, aka ASS.
Nice.
And the wide receiver trio now in Houston has all three of them are ranked top 12 in the league in average separation score. So how much separation they generate from their defender, essentially.
So what you're saying is they collectively have the biggest ass in the league.
I think it's without a doubt that is true. Yes.
The Texans have a dump truck.
Tank Dell number 1. Nico I think was 10th and Diggs was 11th last year. So
Hell
there's
yeah.
just I think we see new heights too with the whole passing game after what Stroud was able to prove last year. So I'm all in.
Good. Kyle, say some more things that I like.
All right, how juicy do you want it? Maybe I don't start off too juicy.
Just wet my
here's
whistle.
Yeah, let me wet your whistle real quick here. Bo Nix over 3,100 pass yards. It's just it's minus 110, so nothing crazy, obviously. But he has to average like 175 or 180 passing yards a game. I mean, he's just gonna dink and dunk his way there, I'm pretty sure.
It's a Sean Payton offense. I'm pretty sure Russell Wilson went well over that last year, and he's
He's
Russell Wilson.
already announced as the starter without an injury. He's gonna play 17 games. The man's not gonna get 180 yards a game.
And the thing is, Sean Payton said this is the best prospect since Patrick Mahomes. So
I don't know if I trust him
would
with
Mahomes
that,
not go over 3,100 his rookie year? Just think about that. All right, Seth, what's your best prop bet?
My best prop bet is actually, well, I have 2, but I'll give you my favorite, both of which I stole from the Ringer Fantasy Show directly. Just completely fleeced them. Cooper Kupp
Mm.
will lead the league in receiving yards 34-1 on FanDuel.
What year is it? 2021?
It might as well be at the end of the season when you're looking back. I mean, it's the year after the big injury. He tried to come back. He did come back, obviously, mid-season last year. And
He's fully healthy. All
now he's
reports
fully healthy.
fully healthy.
34-1 is a crazy number for that.
And Puka
Yeah.
is dealing with some
Puka's
sort of
injured.
slight injury. So
It's just the roles will be reversed. So go back to what it was before with Cooper Kupp being the best wide receiver in the league. I mean,
should have a worse defense this year.
Right.
No Aaron Donald. I mean,
they're going to be in shootouts for
which
sure.
is fine. Yeah.
exactly. what we
So
want.
I love that one. That's my
I
favorite.
fucking love that.
Another
Yeah.
one they mentioned on Ringer Fantasy is Khalil Mack to win Defensive Player of the Year. He had 17 sacks last year.
100 to
And
1.
now-
You forgot to say what the odds are. Isn't that insane?
Now it's down to 75-1 if you check it,
Okay.
but still ridiculous. And as Sam talked about, the Chargers are going to be most likely much more relevant this year, and people are going to be paying attention. So I could see that happening. I guess the downside is if it like the defense is kind of a two-headed monster with him and Bosa, and so they kind of suck each other's potential for awards, much like
Suck each other's
Oh.
what? Oh,
That's not
think
how I
you
thought
know.
he was ending that sentence.
much like Steph Curry and Kevin Durant when they were on the same team. But 75-1 odds.
Yeah, and you got to think this defense is going to and if they're a much improved team, they're going to be awards flying all over the place. I mean, I like Harbaugh for Coach of the Year too at 10 to 1. I mean, if they make the leap,
Why
I'm
not?
saying he's going to win it. Yeah. All right, you ready to go over our division previews and playoff previews?
I've been waiting.
you want a juicier one?
I thought you'd never ask. I was waiting for you to ask.
This one's a little modest too, 6-1, but at least 3 AFC East teams to make the playoffs is plus 600 at FanDuel.
Yeah, I was thinking about that one too.
6-1 there.
And,
And
that
the
includes the
juiciest
Patriots.
Yes, yeah, I do know that. I omitted them though.
At least
So I
3
essentially
though.
just the 3 AFC East teams to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
The Panthers to win the NFC South is 13-1.
Like they
It's
suck,
the
but it's
most
worth a
wide
shot.
open division I'm
It's the
pretty sure
worst
there is in
division.
the league right now. And you just got Canales coming in there. Obviously, everyone's down on Bryce Young, whatever.
He's a short
But-
king.
We saw what Canales did to Mayfield's career in 1 year. And we just got the addition of Deontay Johnson to Carolina as well, who also I think is top 5 in that separation score. I mean, that was one of the biggest problems with Bryce last year was there was absolutely no windows to throw a football, and that's why
Yeah.
Elon just went off by catching 2-yard passes at like 15 2-yard passes every game. Now you got someone that can generate some separation. There's going to be some windows to throw.
I'm
Wide
open to it.
open. Seems
No
like
one should be
it's sprinkled
13 to
at
1
13.
in that division. That's the thing.
That's exactly. That's it.
Yeah. Speaking of divisions,
You're welcome.
you guys know the divisions well. You love them. You can name each one to me right now. I bet if you guys asked me to, I could literally name all 32 teams by division by division.
Do you want a
Yeah,
cookie?
I figured out you could do this about a year ago when we went through the same thing.
I don't want a cookie, but like a little trophy with my name on it wouldn't be like terrible. All right. The AFC East. You're about to learn who's in it. The Jets are actually favored to win at plus 165, Bills at plus 195, Dolphins plus 205, and the Patriots 25 to 1 if you want to take that action. I'll start us off. I'm going Bills. This is a tough one. You could easily pick all 3 teams except the Patriots. Like Kyle just said, all of them are basically coin flips to make the playoffs anyway. If I have the Bills winning this, I say no digs, no problem. Anyone ever heard of a little name, Khalil Shakir? Anyone ever heard of him?
I have heard of him, yeah.
You're going to
He was
reference
out-
Khalil
you know what
Shakir as
division
a
he plays
reason
in?
that they're going to win this division?
You love Khalil, and you know you do. Look deep in your heart. He was outgaining Diggs anyway when Diggs was there. listen,
tell us how the Bills have improved from last year.
They have not.
I will tell you. I'm glad you
In
asked,
fact,
Seth.
they maybe have gotten worse.
Correct.
Well, I'm glad you asked that question, Seth.
Mountains are
Thank you
blue.
for asking. They're blue. The scourge of Diggs is gone from their locker room. Okay. That's A. B. New offensive coordinator with his teeth into it in a full season.
Who
Run
sucks?
heavy offense. Kyle loves a run heavy offense. Okay. New rookie receiver in Keon Coleman. It's going to be great.
Not just
Is
a
he?
rookie, a new rookie.
Yeah. Listen, Josh Allen is 11 or 12 wins. That's just how it is.
Is he?
Okay. Josh Allen and Mahomes. They're good. Yeah. They're good for 11 or 12 wins every year. And I think they're going to be just fine without Diggs. Now, I am
This
a
is the
little worried
hardest
about
this
the Matt
division I think
Milano
has
injury.
been since he's been here.
I am a little worried about the Matt Milano injury. I'll admit it. But they turned over all those old guys in their defense. Tre'Davious White, James
They all-
Torrey, they're
yeah.
all gone.
Correct. Yeah.
They were old and washed. Let's get some new blood in there. I'm going Bills division.
It took them winning how many straight at the end of last season just to make the playoffs?
Yeah, because they got
And
guts
now-
and they got gumption, and they'll do it again.
Now they're without Diggs and the division's harder.
I think they're fine, dude. They got Josh Allen. I'm not worried.
I don't have them winning the division if you couldn't tell.
You do have them making the playoffs though at 6-1 with the other
Yeah.
two.
Correct. But I have them as third in their division.
So who do you have winning the division?
The Jets.
I was hoping you'd say that. That way we can each pick a different team.
Again, this is obviously under the assumption that Aaron Rodgers stays healthy all year, but their defense is easily the best defense in that division. There's no question about it, I don't think. And now you have an actual competent quarterback for once, throwing the ball to what most I think assume and think is one of the at least a top 10 wide receiver in the league. So and obviously Breece Hall. So yeah, if Rodgers stays healthy all year, I think the division is theirs to lose, essentially.
I'm not against it. I have them in the playoffs as well.
Yeah, I mean, I see the reasons for it. I just don't really believe in Aaron Rodgers, whether it's health or just his ability to play at a high level after having a year off and coming back from an Achilles. It just feels like there's too many variables and too many things that could go wrong.
Have you accounted
offensively.
for his darkness retreats, though?
All he has
I
to do is
mean-
play better than Zach Wilson, though.
I mean, even if so, I mean, they were 7-10 last year. He could be better than Zach Wilson, then they go 9-8.
Sure.
So he has to do more than that, actually. But I mean, I don't feel strongly about it. The Jets I could see them having the best record in the conference.
They have a wide range of outcomes, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like if they hit, they're gonna hit. They could Super Bowl hit.
Yeah, for sure. There's just so many unknowns. Well, I'm going to take the Dolphins in the division.
We got it.
'Cause
I
why
mean, this
not?
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we call Madden so he can make a case for the Patriots?
We should.
Why did we ever bring back Idiot Corner? Oh, that was a great segment.
Another year of development for Tua. Got a little experience under his belt. I love the things that they do offensively, getting their running backs in space. I just think their offense is going to be so dynamic again this year. It's going to be fun to watch. Again, not saying that you can necessarily trust them in the playoffs, but
Mhm.
I think regular season wise, they're going to be A, super fun to watch, and B, a division winner. The AFC East division.
I mean, I like them too. I'm a little worried about the loss of Wilkins, but I just wonder how good the defense is really going to be this year.
It's not.
There's going to be a lot of shootouts, I think.
Yeah,
You're banking on that offense. That's the thing.
right.
Yeah.
You're banking
A
on.
good offense.
I'm
to
pretty
bake
sure.
on.
Well, if everyone could stay healthy, which
Yeah.
has not been the case the last couple of years, so
Yeah, I mean, I have them third in the division, but
And you're essentially, I think,
I mean,
banking on them locking up the division before it gets cold.
right.
Mhm. Should we make a little teeny tiny
We should
side bet?
each of our teams to win the division,
Yeah.
and whoever wins, the
Whoever
other people play him
wins.
$10. I'm sorry, $1,000.
Yeah, I said teeny
One
tiny,
unit,
so
you
like
mean?
Yeah, let's do that.
all right, Kyle, record it down.
I'm
If the
putting it in.
Patriots win, all of us give $10 to Matt.
Shit. You're so right. All right.
Put it right
It's
next to
in.
our Moser Camaro week 1 bet. Okay, let's go on to the AFC North. Seth, do you know any teams in the AFC North? You want to take a gander at one of them?
Well, considering I'm looking at my notes because as always, I prepared for this podcast. I
What?
believe the Ravens are in the AFC North.
Good.
And
Good work.
since I've got money on them over 11.5 wins, I'm going to take them to win the division as well. Sam's internet's a little lackluster today.
Yeah, something's off here.
Uh-oh. Can you hear me
He's
now?
back.
You got the Bengals at plus 145. The Ravens are tied at also plus 145. Seth's pick. And we got the Browns at plus 50 and the Steelers at 8-1. And Seth, you're picking the Ravens, huh?
That's correct. And I basically gave you my rationale earlier when we were talking about the prop bets, but I just think they're a great regular season team. Brought in Derrick Henry in the offseason. I think they're going to crush it during the regular season.
Kyle, you have the Ravens as well?
I do. Yes.
I have the Ravens. I mean, I don't know. So
It's
I
theirs
have,
to lose, I think.
I picked the Bengals. Not that I had the Ravens at a bad record or anything. Uh, I was challenging myself to find a first to worst team since Kyle's gonna hate that I'm saying this.
It's
But
Carolina.
and yeah, right. So yours is Carolina. I didn't go Carolina. I went Bengals instead. But in the 19 of the last 21 seasons since we went to this division alignment, there's been a team that's gone from worst in their division to first.
Hmm.
I am a little nervous about, so I picked the Bengals to do so this year. I am a little nervous about Joe Burrow's wrist injury that no quarterback has ever had before. Can't not be nervous about that.
And his midlife crisis at the age of 23.
He bleached blonde his hair. He's had his basically NFL midlife crisis. He said in the offseason, I was kind of pondering my football mentality or my football mortality, I should say. So I'm nervous about all that, and I'm fully admitting it. Okay. But I'm
Jamar
just taking a
Chase
chance on
practiced for
them.
the first time today, I think. Briefly.
Yeah. Listen, they went 8-9 without Burrow. Can they go 11-6, 12-5 with them?
I mean, what do you need? What do you need Jamar Chase for when you got Andre Yoshivas anyways? So
Exactly. And what about that guy with the who was that guy with the long hair that they had that always sneaky looks good? Yeah, you know the one. The white guy they have, like Irwin or something. I'll look him up.
offense,
Steve?
defense.
Yeah, they had Steve Irwin wrangling alligators. It was one of their receivers. I can't remember his name. But I think they're going to be, if Joe Burrow stays healthy, I think this is a good team. I mean, I'm not going on a limb there. I think the Ravens are still going to be elite as well. I think it's going to be a toss up between these two, and I think the other two in the division are going to regress. So I just think it's kind of like all the wins are going to go to those two. That's how my mindset is right now. The AFC South, Seth. I want you to try to name a team from the AFC South that isn't the one you picked.
Um, without looking it up, I'm gonna say um
Trenton Irwin, that's who I was thinking of.
Steve's
Fuck
cousin.
cares?
What do you mean? I got Irwin right at least.
Yeah, who the fuck cares about him? Is he even on the team this year?
I'm looking at their depth chart and he's their second receiver, so no, he's behind T. Higgins for the other side. It's that name
say
of NFC
Jaguars?
South team. Thank you. Good.
Was I right?
Yeah.
Nice.
So the AFC South, the Texans are favored at plus 105. The Jags are plus 250. The
Plus
Colts are plus
105 for the
340.
Texans.
And the Titans are 10 to 1.
How are the Texans plus money?
I don't know, but we pound it. I'm going Texans. Not even close. CJ, he's arrived. And the thing is, on defense, a healthy Derek Stingley Jr. back, and they add Daniil Hunter from Seth's Precious Vikings. And D'Amico's in his second year cooking up that defense. And last year, their offensive line was like the most injured since they started tracking this, like in the last 20 years or something. So
Yeah, it was atrocious last year what they had to go through.
So they should be able to kind of hold
It
protection.
was one of the reasons that they were so much more run heavy anyways.
I mean, rookie quarterback behind a terrible offensive line. They said we better run this ball, and they're like, wait a second, we don't need to. We have CJ Stroud, and I feel like they're just going to open it up this year.
I think it's another reason that we probably see a lot more 11 personnel. So we should get the 3 core receivers on the field for a lot longer of the game. So if you can't tell, I'm all in on the Texans. So
to the moon.
Yeah,
I had the Texans as well for all of the same reasons.
Good, that was easy.
Beautiful.
You know what another easy one's going to be?
AFC West.
Yeah, the Chiefs are minus 260. Which honestly, if you can parlay that with something, please. The Chargers are plus 350. The Raiders are 10 to 1, and the Broncos are 22 to 1.
So you're saying it's easy because we know it'll be the Broncos, right?
Exactly. I mean, Bo Nix is going to get over 3,100 easily. So, I don't know. The Chiefs won the Super Bowl and they weren't even that good last year, and they got even better in the offseason. So,
one of their worst years in recent memory.
Mahomes is another year older, so I'm just kidding. It's their
He's
division
up to
to
what,
lose.
like 28 now?
Yeah, it's their division to lose. I don't think there's much discussion that needs to be had here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Chargers are improved, as I said, but they're not really going to challenge them. All right.
How old is Patrick Mahomes?
I don't know, but I'm going to a second notebook for the NFC. Did you guys see that coming?
For the record, I was right. He's 28.
Fuck you.
You're nodding your head like you were seeing a second notebook coming, but
You,
there's no way you could have.
Your notebooks are disgraceful.
What do you mean? What's disgraceful about a notebook?
Killing the trees.
The type of notebook that you use, as well as the pens, which I assume is just a ordinary.
Who was I with? It was like you, Matt, and Kevin. When you guys talked about pens for like an hour, and I was like, I've never been more bored in my life. Who gives a shit what pen they're using?
Beautiful right here. If you like a nice little fine one,
Don't I have the same pen as you?
Incredible.
My favorite pen of all time.
I'm surprised and I'm impressed that you do have a zebra. Good on you, sir. But your writing looks like a Bic, and it's despicable.
It was the cheapest one at the grocery store. I got it at Jewel.
That might be a knockoff zebra then, so maybe I'm not impressed at all.
It says zebra right on it.
It's an Impala. Okay. My favorite pen of all time is Uniball Jetstream 101.
Good choice,
it's unbelievable.
Too.
Even you, Seth? Does everyone know their favorite pen? What the hell is? Am I missing something?
You are.
Okay. Yeah. The feeling of joy I should be feeling?
What's ironic is that all of us have favorite pens, and yet none of us actually write on paper, except for you.
I write on paper all the time. I write down everything. But I just use whatever pen's next to me.
See, I'm always strapped with a G2 or a zebra.
I don't really like this zebra. It's like too thin and scratchy.
You definitely write at a strange angle.
I don't know. I hold it like you would hold a fork if you didn't know how to hold a fork.
What could it mean, you think?
Yeah, you think about that. All right, NFC. NFC East. Seth, once again, name a team in the NFC East that's not the one you picked.
I don't even remember the team that I picked without looking at my notes. NFC East. All right, I'm going to say...
This is my favorite game show.
Giants?
Good work. You've won this zebra pen.
I guessed that because I saw that I picked Cowboys, and I know that the Cowboys and Giants are rivals, so I figured they're probably in the same division.
He cheated.
Good job. So the Eagles are minus.
He has the divisions written down above his knee.
So the Eagles are the favorite at minus 125. The Cowboys plus 170. The Commies 9 to 1, and the Giants 20 to 1. I'm going to go with the Cowboys. I'm guessing you guys are going to go with the Eagles. Now, I
Correct.
get it. I get that, like, their running backs suck and they mismanaged all their contracts and they lost an offensive lineman. I get all that. Okay. But their top end talent is so good, I can't resist.
You
Micah
could say the same
Parsons,
about the Eagles, though.
Micah Parsons, Diggs, CD, Dak. I mean, they win
That's
12
it.
games every year. Last 3 years, they won 12 games every year. I mean, obviously they're terrible in the postseason. We all know that. But I just feel like I can get them to 12 wins again this year. I don't know. I'm willing to be talking to the Eagles though. By the end of this segment, you guys could talk me into the Eagles. I'm kind of been flip flopping.
Isn't it like there hasn't been a repeat winner in the NFC East for the last 500 years?
Yeah, I think it's literally for the
So
last like 20 seasons.
I'm looking at it right now.
That's a good.
We're down to, yeah, it was 04 was the last time it happened. Eagles.
That's insane.
So for that reason and that reason alone, I'm going to Eagles since the Cowboys won it last year.
Yeah, I mean that's fair, honestly. I mean, talk me into the Eagles, Kyle. I'm just not liking the vibes between like Sirianni and Hurts.
Yeah, that's probably my biggest concern. But Hertz is a professional, and he's just going to do what he does. Now you add in my opinion, I've been saying it for years, one of the best offensive coordinators in the game in Kellen Moore. Saquon's on the back end of the age curve, right? So I do have maybe more concerns there than I think just the general fan. I still think he'll be good. There's some losses, obviously, on the offensive line. So, but I think that's what one of the things Saquon's going to help with is, kind of take some of that pressure off of maybe not having Kelsey there. But AJ Brown's an absolute stud. It sounds like we might get essentially a full-time Devonta Smith in the slot, and he is just going to absolutely cook if that's the case. New rookies on the defensive side. Cooper DeJean, have you heard of him? I think there's upgrades that they've made through the draft on that side that just help and you talk about maybe some friction with the Eagles. I think there might be some friction on the Dallas side as well, just in the fact that maybe not friction, but there's a lot of pressure on the Dallas side with the situation with the contracts and Dak Prescott. So Dak holds all the cards there. That's going to be something that's held above their head the entire year, especially if they somehow start off slow. There's going to be a lot of things coming out. So I don't know. I've been a Hurts guy forever. AJ Brown's an absolute stud. We've known that for his entire career. Devonta Smith playing in the slot, massive for his production. I'm all in. It's the Eagles.
You've done it. You've convinced me. I've been thinking of changing to the Eagles, and you brought me over the edge. Isn't Vic Fangio also coaching their defense now?
I believe you're correct. Yes.
I mean, they just really their coaching last year sucked. If Sirianni can just be kind of a, I don't want to say a figurehead, but I do want to say that. And if he can just keep everything, like a CEO, keep everything moving, you know what I mean? They're just a very deep team. And
Correct.
I'm not that worried about the loss of Jason Kelsey. Like, someone who is already on their offensive line is switching over to center, so it's not like it's a huge change. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
think
get
that'd be
he's like one
fine.
of the best centers, but all right,
But
I'm
would we
switching to
care if
Eagles.
he wasn't Jason Kelsey,
Right, exactly. No, we would never talk about a center if he wasn't
Yeah.
the brother of the person dating Taylor Swift. All right, I'm going Eagles. NFC North. Are you guys ready for this? Now
I know who's in this division for
I was gonna say
sure.
you hopefully know who's in this division. Detroit is favored at plus 130. A plus number? I'm
That
pounding
is
it.
surprising.
The Packers are at plus 230. I think it's because the Packers are so good, right? The Bears are at plus 280. We sneaky like that, of course. And the Vikes, 11-1, Seth.
Hound.
Intrigues.
Pound it 11-1.
I think that's actually going to be Sam Darnold's touchdown interceptions for the whole year.
Interception to touchdown, you mean?
Yeah, 11 interceptions, 1 touchdown.
Yeah, that sounds all right.
I'm going Detroit at plus 130. One of my favorite bets, honestly, at plus money. I have them at a very high record this year. To me, they have one of the least amount of question marks in the league. I mean, their offensive line is elite. Aiden Hutchinson is elite. Their running backs and Goff and Amon-Ra and their tight end. They got some new cornerbacks in there. They kept their coordinators, which is huge. I mean, again, we were just talking about the Eagles. We saw what happened when they lost their coordinators, right? They kept those same coordinators. I think it's what, like Kyle, 14 out of 17 games in a dome, something like that this year.
17 of 18 try or 16 of 17. One game, I'm pretty sure, in the entire season is not in a dome.
And you know Jared Goff can only play in a dome. So that's perfect. I'm going heavy on the Lions this year. I think they win this division. I know the Packers and the Bears are going to be good teams, but I think the Lions are going to be the cream of the crop in the NFC this year.
I like that. I like the Lions. I just picked the Packers as kind of a reverse jinx situation. I'll definitely be
He's always
cheering for
doing
the
mental
Lions.
gymnastics. You notice that? He
That's
can't just pick
correct.
something.
Not even against us.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, he doesn't respect us enough.
I think I'm just like a little bit worried about the Packers after their performance in the playoffs last year. And I feel like Jordan Love is on the up and up, whereas Goff is at best plateaued in his career.
Their performance in the one where they beat Dallas or almost beat San Francisco.
Honestly, both. I feel like they
What,
shouldn't
you're
have even
worried
been
as in you're worried they're
competitive
too
against San
good?
Francisco.
Or what?
Yeah.
I don't
Oh,
understand.
okay, all right. Yeah,
You're
see, I
so
was confused
confusing
too.
right now. Is he eyeing on them? Is he not eyeing on them? I can't
So
tell.
if I could be any more clear, I'm
He's worried about
very
how good they
high
were.
on the Packers, which makes me furious. Desperately scared that I'm wrong,
Yeah,
but I
right.
could be right. And if I am, I'll be sad.
Got
Am
it.
I clear?
So Packers to the Super Bowl.
Hopefully
That's
not.
what he's picking. Right. But he doesn't want
But if
to.
they do, then I predicted it.
It's with tears in his eyes that he picks them to win the division. All right, Kyle, could you make a clear pick, please?
Mm-hmm. Do you need to ask?
I know it's the Bears. You don't have to say anything. Well, that's your worst to first team then.
Could be. Yeah. I don't think the
Could
division is
be.
obviously as wide open as the Carolina's division. So that's why I went with Carolina in that other play. But I mean, we got it. We finally got our quarterback. This
picks
quarterback,
us
this
every year.
rookie comes in with the absolute best offensive weapons, I'm pretty sure, in the history of the NFL that a rookie quarterback has ever walked into. We saw last year, especially in the second half after the acquisition of Montez Sweat, how great the defense can be. We get a new offensive coordinator in Shane Waldron, who helped Seattle have post top 10 DVOA passing offenses over the last 2 seasons. I mean, obviously there's a case for the Lions, of course. There's a case for Green Bay as well. Was the Green Bay thing a flash in the pan? I don't know. We're gonna find out. But I mean, obviously expectations are higher here, but this is just so similar to what we saw last year in Houston with CJ Stroud stepping in with not even as many offensive weapons as Caleb has. So, I mean, I'm a homer. We all know it. But this is the best possible scenario we could ask for.
Have you ever not picked the Bears to win the division?
Probably 3 years ago.
I mean, listen. As you know,
They also have the 5th easiest strength of schedule this year.
As I announced this offseason, I have hope in the Bears for the first time since.
Uh-oh, we've lost him
Wow.
again.
What do you think it was? Since when? We'll never know. I'm gonna guess he said since
I was
Rex
11.
Grossman retired.
He's back.
Since I was 11 years old, I'm ready. I'm
Wow.
vulnerable.
11.
I don't even know what he said. Since you're 11, what?
Years old. I'm ready to get hurt again.
That was the last time we made the playoffs? No, that can't be right.
No, that was the last time
Oh,
that I had
six
hope.
Super Bowl,
And I
right?
was ready. I would put myself out there and said, I believe in the Bears.
Was that the year they went to the Super Bowl? 06?
Yeah.
So you didn't have hope the year after they made a Super Bowl appearance?
No, because I was 12 and I was jaded. All right, NFC
This is the
South.
year. Fucking book it.
Seth, do you want to say anything
Should we
about
all
your
bet on
Vikings?
this one too?
For what?
We all each picked another different team.
Oh, true. We should, yeah.
I'll
But
put
I
it
want to
in.
bet
bet
on the
against the Bears,
Packers.
though. Yeah.
No one
No,
wants to do it except
we
Kyle.
can't do. Seth, do you want to say anything about your precious Vikes before we go to the South?
They're cooked.
I mean, you talk about hope, and hope is in short supply here in Minnesota, I got to tell you. It was looking like an exciting season. We drafted our quarterback for the future. We're going to have a rebuilding year, but we get some excitement seeing the JJ to JJ connection on the field. And then, right when those sweet, sweet prospects were almost within our sights, everything was flushed down the toilet. JJ McCarthy, season-ending injury, another year wasted, and we look forward to 2025.
That felt like a 500-word essay that he had written out, but he wasn't looking at anything. That was just him reciting the deepest, darkest thoughts in his soul.
Just off the top, baby.
You have probably the 35th best quarterback in the league, though. And Sam
That's
Darnold.
something to hang our hats on for sure.
Here's the hope for Minnesota, right? Now, I think over the last 2 years, we've seen at least one quarterback kind of have a resurgence in their career. Geno Smith was that 2 years ago. Baker Mayfield last year.
Joe Flacco.
You get the resurgence, true. If you get a resurgence to the college version of Sam Darnold, things are looking up. But I still don't think you're going to come anywhere close to winning the division. But you could push for a playoff spot. You still have Justin.
Possible.
Running
Yep.
back game, the backfield is much better. But
True.
that's about it.
You're cooked. NFC South. Seth,
Mm-hmm.
any teams you know from there?
Yeah.
Would you like care to share any?
I believe the Bucks and the Panthers are both in the NFC South.
Ooh,
Let's
okay.
go.
The Falcons are favorite at minus 130. The Bucks are at plus 320. Saints 4-1, and Panthers. I saw 11-1, but Kyle. claims
Yeah, I
15,
think
13-1.
my numbers were a little older. I just saw 11-1 early, right before this.
People, there's some money on the Panthers. Whose money? It's Kyle's.
I didn't even pick him to win this division, if you'd like to know.
I know. You just like the odds, and that's fair. I don't know. I had
Like
the
you said,
Falcons winning.
11 to 13-1 odds in this division just doesn't seem right. Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I had the Falcons winning it when I picked it. I could also see the Bucks winning, or the Panthers. I mean, I don't know about the Saints because
Or
it's
the
a dumpster
Saints.
fire, but I don't know. I mean, they got Judon. I assuming that Raheem Morris helps out on defense as a new coach. I don't like. I'm really uncertain about Kirk Cousins coming off an Achilles injury, but he's having a lot of fun with the team. They went to a water park and he was really excited. And Seth just loves to see joy in Kirk's eyes. Seth, I
Big
know you're not going to
mistake.
pick the Falcons because you hate Kirk Cousins.
They might go winless this year. Unless
You guys
I
have
already
your
have-
own. So
yeah,
many
unless-
personal
We already have a
vendettas.
bet booked from I don't even know when, but I just saw it in my notes.
What is it?
what did it say?
There's $20 on the line between me and Seth. Seth has that the Falcons do not win a playoff game this upcoming
yeah.
year, and I have that they do.
I felt
Wow.
great about that.
Bold take, but I don't feel great for either of you.
Especially when the
How's
Panthers
that
win the fucking
possible?
division.
No, I feel better. I feel better for Seth.
No
How
way
did
the
I
Falcons
abstain
win a
from
playoff
this?
game. It must
I
have been
want
in
in-
like our podcast right after the offseason and like the Kirk signing happened.
I want in on the no playoff game.
Or
one
just texted
side.
about it.
I want it on Seth's side.
Too late. It's been
Mm.
booked. Months in the making.
I mean,
All right,
if
well,
Michael Penix is playing, I could see anything happening.
okay, Seth, you just like him because he's a lefty, though.
hmm
He doesn't even argue.
hmm
Okay, so who are you picking then if you're not picking the Falcons?
I picked the Bucks. Kind of scrappy.
His reasoning is kind of scrappy. You meet a Buccaneer on the seas, they're kind of scrappy.
Yeah.
All right, Kyle, give me the Panthers or whoever you're taking.
Uh, I'm not officially taking them in this format.
He just likes the
As a
odds.
In
bet,
what format? This is just a podcast.
yes, I will dabble. 11 or 13 to 1, whatever it may be. Um, again, this division's so wide open, I feel like. I'm gonna take the Falcons just because of the talent all over the offensive side. Obviously, there's questions about Kirk. We'll see what happens. We saw what he was. He was having essentially an MVP level season before the injury last year. He was throwing to the best receiver in football. Yes, that helps. Drake London is still a talent, though. Kyle Pitts is supposedly fully healthy for maybe the first time in his career. We'll see how that holds. But because the Bucks won last year, the division, they have like a first place level
Yeah,
schedule.
I
So they
know.
face the
They're playing a
Chiefs,
lot
the
of tough
Eagles, the
teams.
Cowboys, like the rest of the division does, but they also play the Lions, the 49ers, and the Ravens.
Yeah.
That's almost half the season against teams that are probably going to finish first or second in their own divisions.
They play
So
every
it makes
single. They
it
play
makes it
all four championship teams.
correct. Yes, it makes it very tough to pick the Bucks to win that division. Again, this just goes to the fact that if the Falcons don't win it, the Saints or I mean the Panthers, there's there's truly nothing but upside there.
But Seth said the Bucks are a little scrappy. So how do you feel about that?
I mean, they have one of the worst receivers in the league in Mike Evans.
Chris Godwin?
Chris Godwin, though, will be playing predominantly almost the majority of snaps from the slot this year, which he finished, I'm pretty sure, the year that he played, I think it was a Todd Monken year in Tampa Bay, and he was like second or third amongst receivers in receiving yards or something like that. When he
Sounds
played
made
fully
up.
from the slot, it's not. I think it was 2019,
If you're
2020.
gonna
Yeah,
ask me which
2019.
player I hate on the which receiver I hate in the Bucks, it wouldn't be Mike Evans, it would be Chris Godwin.
Chris Godwin is a better receiver.
All Mike
That
Evans
is
does
not
score
true by
touchdowns.
any metric on earth. I
We
mean,
can't get
I
into
get,
Mike Evans right now. We're already an
yeah,
hour
you're
into
right.
the
But that's my
podcast.
reason. That's my reason why the Bucks are going to win the division. Mike Evans, top 5
Kyle,
wide
you're not
receiver the
allowed
last
to
10
respond.
years.
Kyle's not allowed to respond.
I'll just laugh
Um,
at it.
All right. NFC West. Seth, would you like to name a team that's not the one you picked?
I believe the 49ers are in this division.
Excellent work. That was
Are you
were
surprised I didn't pick them?
Oh,
Oh,
baby. So the Niners are
saucy.
favored at minus 195. The Rams are plus one or plus 350. The Seahawks are plus 650, and the Cards 13 to 1. Seth, you're not picking the Niners.
I'm
Are you
not.
picking our Seahawks?
I'm not picking your Seahawks. Arizona
No way.
will not win the division, but I'll tell you who will. The Rams of Los Angeles.
Mm.
I'm expecting a bit of a Super Bowl hangover from the 49ers. I think they're at the point where they maybe won't care as much about the regular season, and they're like, all right, what do we need to do to get over this hump and actually win a Super Bowl with what is one of the most talented teams that we've seen in recent years?
And what we need to do is
So-
play on the road the entire playoffs, which
Exactly.
is a much harder road to the Super Bowl.
That's gonna be their new strategy.
Pretty sure they
Uh,
were also the least affected by injuries of any team in the NFL
Mhm.
last year. And to bank on that again, though, is a
Regression
tough
to the mean.
I mean, last time they made the Super Bowl and lost, they went 6-10 the last year. The
Exactly.
next year, I mean.
So you're both making my point for me. And
So who you pick?
love
Who'd you
Sean
pick?
McVay. I
But he
picked the
picked the
Rams.
Rams. I mean,
What's
hey,
that
Sean
face
McVay
for?
is one of the best coaches in the league.
Yeah,
can't argue with
and
that.
as we've mentioned before, Cooper Cup fully healthy, Stafford fully healthy. What's not to like?
The defense is going to be atrocious. Puka Nacua is not fully healthy entering the season.
They'll be fine. They don't need Puka. They
Would you
do
want to
lose
say
Aaron
anything nice
Donald.
about
I'll
the
give you that.
defense? Yeah, okay.
Defense not really important. They'll be
They
scrappy.
say defense doesn't win championships or divisions.
Hey, we're talking about divisions, not championships.
They'll be scrappy. I mean, isn't it kind of fun that maybe the two best coaches in the NFL are both in LA?
Is Kyle? Oh, LA.
What do you think I was gonna say?
I thought you were gonna say in this division.
Oh no, you got Jim Harbaugh and Sean McVay. I mean, honestly, now that Belichick's gone, those are the two best coaches, right?
You think
I mean, it's a
Harbaugh's
little
the best
premature to say
coach?
that
One of
about
the
Harbaugh.
best coach? Yeah, yeah, I agree.
I didn't hear what either you said actually.
I said it's a little premature to say that about Harbaugh.
Okay. You want to take his brother
right.
instead?
I would take his brother over him at this moment in time. Yes, correct.
Well, at least there is a Harbaugh in LA. I don't know.
No more Harbaughs in LA.
I went Niners still, but I had him at like 10-7.
Despicable, dude. It's the Seattle Seahawks flop lag year.
I don't know what
mean,
that means.
Oh my god. You and your lack of knowledge on poker terms is atrocious, to be honest with you.
Why would I have knowledge on poker terms?
We've been playing poker for how many years? I guess
I've never heard you say flop lag once when we're playing poker.
All right.
Is that what you said? Flop lag?
Flop lag.
Sam,
yeah.
just write it down in your notebook and then you'll remember it.
Yeah. Do you know what flop lag is?
It's a poker term. Try to keep up.
Get the fuck out.
So essentially, you have a good hand, right? You get the flop. It sucks. Next hand, the next flop would have been perfect for your previous hand.
I really don't need a term for that.
It's called flop lag.
Correct.
I would just say, oh, that would have been perfect for my last hand.
Okay. Well, get with the terms, get with the times. Yeah, I mean, to me, everything is just looking great for the Seahawks. We already kind of talked about a little bit. Geno's one of the best deep ball passers in the NFL. We have a top 5 essentially projected defense, I'm pretty sure, from this unit. You get an offensive coordinator coming from the University of Washington, right? That was with Michael Penix last year, who had one of the best passing attacks in college football, who dialed up a ton of deep ball passes. Obviously, we know what DK Metcalf can do. He is the better version of Mike Evans on a deep ball, where he will actually get yards after the catch. JSN, one of the best wide receiver prospects coming in last year, who was used absolutely terribly by the previous regime. Obviously he was dealing with some injuries as well before the year started, so that didn't help his case. But we have a fully healthy JSN, gonna get more deep shots. His depth of target this year will be exponentially greater than it was last year, where he was catching the majority of passes behind the line of scrimmage. And even just looking at the schedule, they start off the year against the Broncos and the Patriots. Should start off 2-0 there. They do have Dolphins and Bills, but when they play those games, they are home games, so that helps. Their toughest division game, which obviously should be against San Francisco, comes after their bye week, so they'll have an extra week to prepare for that. And their toughest road game most likely is against the Jets, but that game comes sandwiched between 2 games against the Cardinals, who are probably going to have one of the worst defenses in the NFL themselves. So tons of time to prepare for their hardest oppositions. Start off the year with two of the easiest opponents they can have. Everything lines up for the Seahawks to win this division. Every bet you can make on the Seahawks overs. Mike McDonald to win Coach of the Year, 14-1. Should have listed that earlier too. Dial it all up. It's the year of the Hawks, baby. Caw-caw.
Yeah, I'm in on the Seahawks. Obviously, I had them going to the Super Bowl last year, so
It's the flop line.
So
should be
three-way
no
bet or
different
what?
this year. My flop has lagged, as you say. I got the Seahawks and the Niners both at 10-7. So whoever wins the what's the
Tiebreaker?
word?
Flop lag? Tiebreaker?
Yeah, whoever wins the flop lag will win the division. All right, it's time. It's time to put your chips down and have them land where they may. The playoffs.
Geno Smith is 150-1 to be the MVP, by the way. If they are the best team in the NFC,
If you would like to send your money somewhere where you will not receive it back, bet on Geno Smith 151 for MVP.
he's getting MVP votes this year.
From you?
He'll be a top 5 MVP candidate. He might win it.
Okay, I would love to put a bet on this. I mean, what are we talking? I can move some money around. I can have $20,000 in your account tomorrow.
There's
Over,
absolutely
under.
no way you could do that with the car you're driving around with. You
Over,
have to
under.
Why do
open
you
your
think I'm
door
keeping all
at
my
a
money for?
McDonald's. You have to open your door at a McDonald's drive-through to both pay and receive your food.
Yeah, I'm not paying for a car bill. You know that. Got a lot of
And
liquid
order.
cash.
Over under half of an MVP vote for Geno Smith this year. I'll take the under.
No, we had him way better than that, Seth.
That's
Why'd you
fine.
say that? He said
Book it.
no, he didn't
said
say
it.
that.
He offered it. Yes, he did.
Seth, that's way worse than what he was offering. He
What
said
was
he's
he
gonna finish
offering?
top 5 in MVP voting.
Yeah. How many votes did they? Oh, you're saying top 5, not that he will get one top 5 vote.
I say that he'll finish, but you just offered me over under half an MVP vote. And I'm going to
I'll do
take that.
both. He's not getting any votes.
Seth, we're taking top 5 MVP. Okay, Kyle says he will be top 5 MVP. We're saying no.
At this point, I'm not going to book that because I was just offered a different bet.
Seth. What if he gets one vote from a Seattle beat writer? Then we're fucked.
I was offered the wager. I'll
No,
accept
I'm
that
not doing
wager.
it anymore. We can talk him into it tomorrow.
Deal.
God, he
Continue
fumbled it
on.
at the goal. You're like Zay Flowers at the goal line in the NFC Championship game. Yeah, NFC. I said it. All right. Playoffs.
They're not in the
AFC.
NFC.
I know. But Seth doesn't know the conferences. So the AFC playoffs. I want you 1 through 7. Okay. I'll start. I got the Chiefs as the 1 seed. I got the Texans as a 2 seed. I have my Bills as a 3 seed. I got Bengals at 4. I have Ravens at 5. And then my last 2 wild cards, I have Chargers and Jets. Now, as you know, I'm going to say the thing that
Did
makes
you
my
omit the
mind-
Dolphins from that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my honorable nominations include Miami and the Jags.
Honorable nominations?
Yeah,
You mean honorable mentions?
no.
What's an honorable nomination? Is it like
I
a
just-
flop lag?
Yeah. You'd have
Okay.
to play poker. You don't get it.
Okay.
Now I'm going to say the thing that makes Kyle mad every time. You need 3 new teams per conference. Okay? You just do. Last year, there were 3 new teams in the AFC, Pittsburgh, Houston, and the Browns, and 3 in the NFC, the Rams, Detroit, and Green Bay. 2 years ago, 4 new ones in the AFC, 3 new ones in the NFC. 3 years ago, 3 new ones in the AFC, 4 new ones in the NFC. It happens every year.
To be
You
honest, I
got
don't
to
know
take
about
half
any
of
of
them
it.
out. You got to
How
take
about
half of
8
them out.
years
Put
ago?
it. What's that?
How about 8 years ago?
I only went back 3 years, but
Hmm.
it happens every year. Half the teams are new. So my new ones are the Bengals, the Chargers, and the Jets.
I mean, I have-
Stun
I
You
have-
gonna ask us? You gonna ask us a question or just tell us?
I wanted
I have
you
the-
guys to either get mad or tell me I'm great at picking playoff
I have the
teams.
Bengals and the Jets as well. I don't have the Chargers. I'm not picking them over the Dolphins,
So you have 2 new teams?
especially not when they're coached by the worst Harbaugh brother.
There's only 2 of them. I mean, if there's 3, it might not be the worst.
but he is. There's only two.
All right, give me your playoff picks, Kyle.
I have the Chiefs at 1, Texans at 2. I have the Jets at 3, the Ravens at 4, Dolphins, and then for our wild cards, I got the Dolphins, the Bills, and the Bengals rounding it out.
So the only difference you and I have is Miami versus
Dolphins,
Chargers.
yeah, correct.
He only has 2 new teams, Seth. You know that's illegal.
It's not.
Is it?
It doesn't happen. Never happens.
Never. Absolutely never once in the history.
Not in
of
the history of the NFL.
Okay.
I only went back 3 years, so we will never know.
So we all just have one team that's different. I do not have the Jets in the playoffs. I do have the Dolphins and the Chargers. So I think the number 1 seed will be the Ravens, followed by the Chiefs. Other division winners include the Dolphins and the Texans, and then we have Bills, Bengals, Chargers rounding out the playoff teams. So I think that's only 2 new teams, but I stand by it.
This could be the year, though.
Sorry.
Maybe there's only 2 new teams. You never know. All right, NFC. As I told you, I'm high in the Lions. I have them as my 1 seed. I have the Eagles as my 2 seed. Used to be Cowboys, but Kyle talked me into the Eagles. I have the Falcons as 3, Niners at 4. I have the Packers as my first wild card team, the Seahawks as my second wild card team, and your Chicago Bears as my 7 seed, baby. Kyle likes that. We're back in the playoffs. So I left out the Rams and Cowboys, notably, I'd say.
How many wins do you have for the Falcons?
10.
Jesus Christ.
Is that a lot?
I'll take a bet on that.
What, so you want to you want to bet?
I'll set it up just like I did for Kyle. No way the Falcons get 4 wins. I'll take the under.
Kyle, do you want to know this Falcons bet? Because you already have them to win a playoff game. He's muted, but yeah, I can only assume he's in on the bet.
I had no clue I was muted. Just to make the playoffs?
No, he's betting. Well, I don't know what his. He might say something wild. I don't know
Sam
what his
said
bet
10
is.
wins.
Oh, no. No thanks.
Where do you want to place the over under, Sam?
Would you give me 9? Would you take them under 8.5?
Set it at 9.5.
I just don't really want to. I mean, I have them at 10, but I don't feel very confident.
How about we set it at 9? If they get exactly 9, it's a push.
You pay Matt.
Okay. Yeah, we pay Matt. Deal.
Deal. $10, $20?
Yeah, 10.
All right.
20. Anyone who gambling more than $10 on the Falcons should have their head examined.
How much? 10?
Yeah.
They're gonna go like 3-14. All right. Well, thanks for asking. I have the Packers as the 1 seed, which would be terrible, but at least I've predicted it. And then I've got Rams, Eagles, Bucks as the division winners. 49ers, Lions, and I think the Bears will squeak into the playoffs just to show how unbiased I am. So I don't know how many new teams that is.
So you
Who gives a shit?
say it again. You have what? Rams,
Packers, Rams, Eagles, Bucks, Niners, Lions, Bears.
Only the Bears are new, and we love that.
Darn right.
We should be the 1 new team. Kyle, who you got?
I have the Seahawks as the number 1 seed in the NFC.
They're going to the Super Bowl.
Eagles, 2. The Bears at 3. Falcons at 4, just because they win the division. Round out the wild card, we have the Lions, the Niners, and the Cowboys.
Love that. So
no Packers.
I mean, Kyle, you might have accidentally got 3 new teams in there.
No Packers, he says.
Packers. Yeah, I don't give a shit about what happened in previous years. It has no dictation as to what happens this year. So
yeah, you seemed excited about the first to worst team.
Yeah.
So what do you care about? That begs the question. Because
Huh?
you
I thought
wanted
you
to pick
meant
a
for a
you wanted
second.
to
I
pick
thought
a
Kyle meant he doesn't care about anything that happened last season. So Patrick Mahomes played well, but it doesn't matter.
Correct.
Nothing that any player showed last season has any bearing on anything that will happen this year.
well, Patrick Mahomes is 28 now. He's washed.
Right. He's on the back end of the age curve. That's actually false for a quarterback, but still, go ahead.
Speaking of MVP, Mahomes is favored at plus 475. Stroud is 8-1, our beloved.
Yeah.
Josh Allen 9-1. Joe Burrow plus 950, but he has a wrist injury. You know that. Jalen Hurts 12-1. We love that. Jordan Love 14-1, etc. I think Lamar is like 18-1, right in there. And we know it's
Keep
gonna be a
scrolling
quarterback.
down. Keep scrolling down to the 100-1 where Geno Smith is located.
I thought it was 150-1.
Yeah, I just looked. He's 100-1 now on DraftKings at least.
Did you bet on it? You moved the market. uh I'm gonna go Mahomes because I actually have the Chiefs at 14-3 this year. I just think it's a real Mahomes fuck you season.
Do you go through every team and every schedule and mark W or L for every game?
No, I'm not a serial killer.
I don't know with you.
You tell me you don't know if I'm a serial killer or not? I feel like you would have figured it out.
You
by
don't
now.
even have a favorite pen.
I just told you. I'll tell you my least favorite pen is this stupid zebra one I have that you claim to love. It's like
Because
writing
you
with
write
my
like you don't know how to
fingernail.
hold a fork. What do you mean? It's not it has
Exactly.
nothing
You
to,
remember.
it has no bearing on the pen.
Anyway, it's a Mahomes FU season. Although if you're going long
FU, they
shot,
won the Super Bowl.
exactly, and so the pressure's off. He just wants to sling it this year. I think they're gonna be. It's obviously gonna come from the one seed in either conference. I have the Chiefs as the one seed. The other one I like though is Jared Goff 20-1
Who
because I have
gives
the
a shit
Lions
about
as the
Jared
one
Goff?
seed.
Just take Geno Smith at 100-1.
Okay, can you let me make
Seahawks
my point?
flop lag year. I don't think
Okay.
you've heard me.
That's your first seed. My first seed is the Lions. So if I like Lions first seed, obviously I'm gonna like Goff 20-1 as MVP because it often goes to the quarterback or the one seed. He's so mad at me. I don't know why. I think it's the
I have
pen
3
incident.
plays listed down for betting purposes. It's CJ Stroud. It's obviously Geno Smith and Aaron
Obviously.
Rodgers.
Oh God, I would hate it.
Your
Aaron Rodgers won
your
MVP.
MVP comes from that group right there.
Dude, Aaron Rodgers hasn't been good in at least 3 seasons.
So Kyle, you think MVP is one of those 3 players? I'll take the field.
Oh, me too. Me too. Me too.
That's fine. Whatever. I don't give a shit.
All right, $20 each. Come on, $20 each. Good, Seth. You're getting better.
I already have money on these people. I'm not putting $20 on this with you fools.
Oh, because he knows he's gonna lose.
See, doesn't have what it takes.
Yeah, he doesn't.
He's not standing behind his
He's
bets.
not built different.
No, because my
Alright.
upside is just so much higher if one of them wins anyways. So why would
He's
I?
built the
fine,
same.
we'll do
He's
19.
built the same as everyone else. We'll go 1850, no less.
All right, guaranteed win for us. I have Mahomes for MVP because I think he will probably win because he's the best player. And
I feel like
I
this
feel
is
like-
the last year where he can win where we're not tired of it.
and I feel like the narrative of okay, he had a bad for him regular season last year and then he won.
Right.
So now everyone's back on the like, okay, yeah, Mahomes is just way better than everyone else. And I feel like if
Yeah.
he has a average for him season, it'll be enough.
It's a narrative award, right? And last year they won the Super Bowl and he did not have good stats. This year he's going to have way better stats with a better offensive line and receivers. And this is the last year. It's like LeBron. This is going to be his last MVP before we're like, all right, we're tired of giving the MVP to Mahomes. He's not winning anymore.
What if I told you that MVPs aren't typically consecutive winners of the award? Aaron Rodgers, exception to the rule about.
I mean, Mahomes didn't win it
10,
last year.
I
So
mean,
11 years
yeah,
ago.
it
Oh,
doesn't
okay.
matter. That's why Lamar is so
I'm
low,
like-
I think, because
Yeah,
Lamar's
Lamar's
like,
not going to win.
he's not going to win again. He keeps pooping his pants on television. All right, it's time. Is anyone still with us?
Finally.
Anyone still
I'm
listening?
no, I'm
Are
not.
you out there, listeners? It's me, Sam. Super Bowl pick time, baby. Let me run through the odds real quick. The Chiefs favorite at 5-1, Niners 6-1, Ravens 10-1, Lions 12-1, Bengals 13-1, Eagles 14-1, Houston 16-1, Bills also 16-1. Do you want to do that thing where we all predict each other's picks and we're always right?
Yeah.
What do you think about Kyle?
Sam, you're gonna say
Oh.
Chiefs over Lions.
Let's see if you can see this.
Kyle, you're gonna say nice.
Chiefs over Lions.
Kyle's gonna say Seahawks,
Texans
Jets,
over Seahawks, I think.
Texans over Seahawks. Yeah.
Texans to win against the Seahawks. You are correct.
2 for 2 so far. All right, now we gotta get Seth.
We know the Packers are one of them.
Yeah, because
would-
he's reverse jinxing himself.
There's no he doesn't go with the Rams, does he? It
Who was his one seed in the
was the
AFC?
Rams, wasn't it?
Oh, did he say it's not the Packers?
I would never pick the Packers to be in the Super Bowl.
Oh, I thought he said the Packers. You're right.
Oh, okay, so yeah, maybe Rams. Who was he high on the AFC? I don't even remember. The Ravens? Probably
Ravens.
Ravens. So Ravens.
Ravens over Rams.
Yeah, Ravens over Rams.
It's a decent guess based off of what I've said so far. However, I feel like the safe choice, and if I, had to actually make a pick, I would agree with Sam and do Chiefs over Lions.
Wow.
My dark horse pick is Bengals over the Lions.
Has he named the bank? Has he talked about the Bengals once on this podcast?
I have not, but I feel like they're one of those
No, this was all a ruse.
wide range of outcomes teams where it's like I'm guessing the most likely to happen. They're going to have kind of a middling season. Joe Burrow is going to struggle at times, but I could also see where they just like get locked in mid-season. Burrow looks like his old self, and he's basically been the only quarterback in the AFC who's been able to beat Mahomes. So if he's at 100%, I feel like he's the only person that I would trust to beat Mahomes in a playoff game. So if it's not going to be the Chiefs in the AFC, I think that's the other option.
You weren't going to mention any of this about the Bengals when I was talking them up as my division winner?
Well, I don't think they're going to be that good in the regular season. They'll have
What
growing
are you
pains.
playing at?
It makes perfect sense all in here.
Okay. All right. Well, that was it.
Thank
That was
God.
our NFL preview.
Can't wait for the season.
We're ready, baby. Chiefs, Ravens tomorrow. Who you guys got tomorrow in Thursday Night Football?
Ravens.
Mm.
Derrick Henry, 2 touchdowns.
Mm.
Lock it in.
That's a good parlay.
Not opposed.
Kyle, you picking the Chiefs?
No.
You picking
the
the
I'm not
Ravens?
picking the Ravens either.
No.
Give me the Ravens. He's frozen at. How does this keep happening? He's back.
Someone just end this. Please, God have mercy.
All I'm saying is take the under in that game.
No way. I don't even know what
Kyle.
it is actually.
I want you to send us off this podcast and into the NFL season with something to wet our listeners' whistles as they as they go
Every
into this
time.
weekend.
Obviously we all know the banger of a song titled Hot to Go by Chapel Roan.
Of course.
So I have my own rendition of this.
I'm listening.
SEAHAWKS. Hawks are the fucking best.